Mufasa the Lion King, exploring the backstory of Mufasa's rise to royalty and his bond with his brother Scar. It delves into the emotional and adventurous journey that shaped Mufasa into the beloved king of the Pride Lands. In the vast African savanna, under the golden hues of dawn, the Pride Lands came to life with the booming call of the king. Simba, the mighty lion and revered ruler, stood proudly atop Pride Rock, surveying his kingdom addressed the gathered animals. With a commanding yet heartfelt tone, he declared that the time for his family's growth had arrived. He spoke of their shared home, the fulfillment of his father's vision, and marveled at how he and Nala had nurtured and expanded that dream, making the circle of life even greater. As his words resonated through the air, Simba lifted his gaze to the heavens. Turning to Nala, his love, he spoke with quiet reverence that he is on the way. Kyra, as a young cub, loved being near her father. As dark clouds rolled in, she edged closer to Simba, her small frame trembling. She quietly admitted her fear of the storm and her wish to find her mother. Simba placed a steady paw on her shoulder and calmly reassured her there was nothing to fear, reminding her that Timon and Pumbaa would always be there to watch over her. Curious, Kyra turned to Timon and Pumbaa and asked if they had truly been the ones to defeat Scar, and what had happened afterward. Before they could respond, a crash of thunder shook the ground, startling Kyra. Overwhelmed by fear, she declared that she wanted to return to her parents. Timon and Pumbaa noticed her distress and quickly worked to calm her. Timon, ever quick with humor, reassured Kyra that there was nothing to fear, while Pumbaa, in his warm-hearted way, began recounting the tale of Scar's downfall. Rafiki arrived, and Kyra ran toward him, saying her parents had left her there. Rafiki tried to calm her by pointing out the nature around them, explaining that her parents had gone to get a special gift for her from the place where they had found her. Rafiki told Kyra that her father Simba was also once afraid of thunder, but her grandfather, Mufasa, had helped him become strong. Kyra replied that he was not like her father and not like her grandfather either. Rafiki started to tell her the story of her grandfather Mufasa, the great and strong lion. When Mufasa asked his parents if they would go to the Green Lands, his mother told him that they were indeed going. As they made their way, the rain began, and the monsoon started. Mufasa, feeling uncertain, asked his father to walk towards the light. His father, with a reassuring voice, called him Mufasa, the fast cub. Suddenly, the river swelled and Mufasa found himself in trouble. His father tried to save him while his mother called out to him, urging him to listen to her voice and follow her. Despite their efforts, the water rose too quickly, and they could not reach him in time. Mufasa was swept away by the rushing river, clinging to a piece of wood. That incident took him far from his parents. As Mufasa drifted on the wood, he was carried to a new land, where he met Taka. Taka told him that to save his life, he would need to swim and run fast. Just then, Taka's mother appeared and saved them both, taking Mufasa with her. Obasi, the king of the land, declared that they would never accept a stray in their territory. However, Taka's mother insisted that she had taken him in and would keep him. To decide Mufasa's fate, Obasi suggested a race between Mufasa and Taka. If Mufasa won, he would live. If Taka won, they would be eaten. Mufasa gave it his all, competing with all his strength, and he won the race. Obasi, enraged, accused Taka of letting Mufasa win. Mufasa and Taka started a loving life together as brothers. Taka's mother trained Ishe Mufasa very well, and he felt in his past that he could smell his home. And Mufasa told his mother that he had no burden of becoming a king of that Pride Land, as Obasi would never accept him. That day, Ishe was training him how to treat enemy, and at that time they face a big problem. Ishe said Mufasa to ran from there, but he stayed there and fought with them, and Mufasa saved her life and came back. And Ishe told all the story, and Obasi said Mufasa that he owed him a great debt, and Mufasa replied they would be prepared for they next as they would also attack again. On the other side, the son of Kiros had died in the battle. Shigaro went to the place and saw the aftermath, where they were preparing to retaliate against Obasi. He reported everything to Obasi, who then instructed Mufasa to leave with Taka and go to safety, to preserve the king's bloodline. Ishe also urged Mufasa to leave with Taka and find their true home, but Mufasa was reluctant to leave them behind. Just as Kiros and his party arrived, Obasi told them that he had no interest in fighting. Kiros, filled with anger over the loss of his son, seized control of the land. Mufasa and Taka fled, pursued by Kiros and his followers. They reached a river, where Kiros's party caught up with them. Mufasa tried to stand and fight, but in the chaos, Taka pushed him into the river to save their lives. The river carried Mufasa and Taka far from the land they had once known, the swift current pulling them through unfamiliar terrain. They struggled against the water, each moment feeling like a battle, but through sheer determination, they managed to stay afloat. Eventually, the river calmed, and they found themselves washed ashore in a strange land, far from the pursuit of Kiros and his followers. Mufasa and Taka met Sarabi and Zazu, the scout of the princess. Mufasa told Sarabi that they were heading towards Lile. The group started moving, but Zazu disagreed with the plan, and Sarabi decided to follow them. Meanwhile, in the trees, the bamboos were angry, as a cheetah had attacked them 3 times. One bamboo argued that Rafiki and his visions must be banished once and for all. Another bamboo defended Rafiki, saying that his visions had saved them in the past. After much debate, Rafiki decided to leave. As Rafiki walked away, he encountered Mufasa. Mufasa told him to run if he could. Rafiki asked them if they truly thought they could find Malala by following the path others had taken, as Malala was moving toward them. Sarabi then told them that if they were following the footsteps of a monkey, they would not find Malala. They continued their journey toward Malala, with Mufasa reminding Sarabi to stay focused, knowing that they were being followed. As they moved toward the great valleys, the hunters from Kiros's party were on their trail. One of the hunters noticed that they weren't alone, mentioning that a female lion and a baboon were with them. Taka turned to Mufasa, commenting that Sarabi was strong, just as her mother had always said about strong lions. Taka seemed hesitant to speak to her, feeling unsure. Mufasa encouraged him, urging him to go ahead and talk to her. Nervously, Taka walked up to Sarabi and said a few kind words about her mane, trying to break the ice. Just then, Zazu warned them about the approaching threat, quickly flying off to scout ahead. Mufasa spoke with the elephants, asking them to walk alongside them and help fight off any attackers. Sarabi, however, suggested they run to avoid further danger. In the chaos that followed, Sarabi accidentally brushed against a honeycomb, and the angry bees inside caused the elephants to become agitated and destructive. The elephants began to charge, creating havoc. Mufasa quickly acted, rushing to protect Sarabi and managing to get her to safety. The rock they had been near crumbled under the chaos, and the attackers retreated, realizing they were outmatched. Sarabi, though injured, was safe. As Mufasa stood beside her, he turned to Taka, acknowledging that it was Taka who had saved Sarabi in that moment. Mufasa knew deep down that Taka cared for her. They resumed their journey toward Mailele, with Taka turning to Mufasa and expressing his gratitude. "Thank you, Mufasa." Meanwhile, Rafiki sat under the rock, telling Kyra the story. Kyra, eager to understand more, asked, "Who were those outsiders you mentioned?" Rafiki looked at her thoughtfully before responding. He explained, "When their own people did not accept them, they became outsiders." His voice was soft but filled with wisdom, as if the past had taught him much about acceptance and belonging. They continued their journey through the cold, icy terrain. Mufasa asked Zazu to erase their footprints, knowing that the attackers would not be able to track them if they did. Sarabi, impressed by Mufasa's strategies, remarked that he seemed to know everything. She told him that he had saved her life, and that she could even smell the scent of flowers in his mane. Taka, who had been listening quietly, felt a deeper admiration for Sarabi, realizing that she now understood the truth about everything. Taka saw all that, and he called Mufasa a liar, and he was ashamed of saving him. As his father said him that he was a starry in anger, he fell from a he-ice mountain, and he saw attackers there and headed towards them. He said that he would help them to kill Mufasa, and he would told them where were they, and a baboon was taking them. Taka said that he needed revenge from Mufasa as he lost his father, as Mufasa did that, and he headed to Kiro's feet. After telling them all thing, he came back to Mufasa and started lefting signs before that attackers could found them. They reached a place and Rafiki saw a tree and he was very happy. And suddenly that attackers came there and Taka changed his side and told that he was the reason of his father's death. Mufasa attacked Kiros and he fell from height. Sarabi asked the other lions to fight with them, to attack those outsiders. As they stood together, facing the challenges ahead, Mufasa spoke with steady resolve to all the animals of the Pride Lands, reminding them that life wasn't always easy, but with each other, they were strong. The animals agreed, rallying together to defend their home and face the outsiders, with Taka standing beside them. Mufasa and Kiros fought fiercely under the rock, but when Kiros pushed Mufasa away and tried to attack him, Taka stepped in front to protect his brother. Taka told Kiros that he would not kill him, but Kiros responded that he would kill Mufasa by himself to take revenge. The battle continued until, by accident, both Mufasa and Kiros fell into the water, still fighting. A rock fell from above, and Mufasa managed to throw Kiros beneath it, killing him. After the fight, Mufasa emerged from the water, and Taka helped him out, pulling him to safety. Sarabi arrived soon after, and Taka quietly left them, and the animals were filled with relief and joy. Mufasa received good news that his mother was with him, and she had dreamed they would all be together again. Taka apologized to Mufasa, and in that moment, changed his name from Taka to Scar. Mufasa reflected on the time he spent with his parents and his new place in the Pride Lands, then climbed to the high rock, letting out a powerful roar. On the other side, Kyra also let out a roar, and Rafiki, smiling, said that Mufasa was always in her heart. She ran joyfully to her parents, where they greeted her with her new baby brother.